Hi, and welcome to my Saturday afternoon SED talk. This is my second one for today, July the 3rd, 2021. And now I am going to go over relationship skills. There are hundreds of words that describe personality. And when we fall in love, we notice these wonderful personality traits in the person we love. But as time goes by, we start seeing other traits in their personality that aren't so nice. And a lot of times we don't know what to do about it. So this video is not going to be on what to do about it. But I just finished my list, there it is, of the 8 personality traits that you really need to watch out for. Because if there's several of these that you're seeing in your relationship, then you're going to have lots of conflict and lots of heartache. So I'm going to go over these 8 traits that, depending on how you look at it, you really need in relationships, or if they're absent, they become red flags that let you know this is not a good relationship. So everybody who's young or even older and they're falling in love, they're asking, is this a good person for me? Does this person have the traits that I'm going to be able to keep loving this person, and our relationship will give me a sense of peace and comfort, safety, and well-being, and hopefully, every once in a while, wonderful sense of joy. I wish I could go over this with every 17-year-old in the country so that we all are on the same page. Let's look out for these personality traits. But also, the hidden message is, do you have any of these traits? Hopefully you'll have all of them in the positive and none of them in the negative. Okay? Here they are. Number 1, able to see things from the other person's point of view. Do you ever tell somebody how you feel or how you're thinking about something and they go, what? That doesn't make any sense. What? Why would you even think that? What we need in relationships is to be able to say, well, okay, now that you've explained it, that makes sense. Very important. Number 2, we have to have a conscience. If somebody does something wrong and you say to them, hey, that really hurt my feelings, or hey, that was really problematic, then the person should be able to say, oh gosh, I'm sorry, I feel bad. And ideally they'd be able to apologize. Now some of these are going to run together. They're almost going to sound like the same thing, but I'm working on it to make them discreet. Hopefully you have a conscience. You do something, it hurts a person, and then you really try not to do it again. Number 3, able to handle constructive criticism. You get into a relationship, there's no doubt that somewhere along the time together, the one and both of you will say, hey, I didn't really care for the way you did that, the way you did the dishes, the way you treated our child, or that joke you told at the party the other night. You know, you really shouldn't do that. Now here's your test. Do you or does that person say, oh, well, that's interesting, tell me more about that? Or do they say, well, that's ridiculous, don't criticize me for that, that's the way I was when you met me? How many times have you heard that? So therefore I should just be able to continue doing it, and you should just suck it up and feel bad over and over again. Able to handle constructive criticism. Number 4, an interest in healthy communication. So often a person in a relationship will say, well, you know, you could have said that nicer, or you could have phrased that differently. Or if they are really smart and they go see a couples counselor, the counselor might say, let me go over my 10 pillars of good communication. I do that all the time. And people are at a different level of interest in learning healthy communication and applying it. That is very important in relationships. Number 5, empathy. Being able to feel with the other person. Somebody else is crying, they're hurting, they're frustrated, or they're anxious. Do you have a sense of, oh, gosh, you feel that way? Oh, gosh, that's not good. What happened? A lot of times, curiosity comes along with empathy. What's going on? How did that make you feel? I had a young lady recently in my group who said she never met her father. Her mother gave up on raising her. Into the foster system she goes. Well, foster parents can be wonderful and the child can grow up happy and healthy. But this young lady reported that her foster mother could never empathize with her feelings. She would brush them off by saying, well, you have a right to your feelings. And so I guess the foster mother expected her to go, oh, that's true. Well, okay, Mom, see you later. She needed that foster mom to lean into those feelings and say, how long have you had these feelings? Well, Lord, exactly what do you mean by feeling anxious or worried or upset? And she wasn't getting that need met, and there she was in the psychiatric hospital as a result of it. Tragic. Number 6, being interested in personal growth. Hopefully, mature people want to grow to be the very best person they can be on their way to self-actualization, right? And you get into relationships and they want to grow to be the best husband, the best wife that they can possibly be in this relationship, boyfriend or girlfriend. But so often people are not interested. Hey, would you try to do things this way for others or for me? Oh, I am who I am. I guess they think of themselves as Popeye. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man, and I am who I am. And that's just me. And no interest in growing. And then the person says, I've got an appointment set up with Dr. Wood, Thursday at 3 o'clock for couples counseling. I'd like for us to go. I'm not going to go to that. I've heard grown adults in the hospital, well, how is your family therapy going with your dad? My dad would never go to see a therapist. He doesn't believe in that. Okay, therapy is about personal growth and making the relationship with your spouse or your child as good as it can possibly be. But they're not interested in that. They're just going to just keep doing their thing, and if that hurts the other person and damages their soul, so be it. Appalling. I hope you are interested in personal growth and you're willing to go see a family therapist with any family member. Interested and willing to go through any conflict to get to resolution. Let's keep talking this through. This is the adult ego state. This is a sign of emotional intelligence. Let's keep talking this through until we come to either an agreement or an understanding or some kind of resolution. I heard somebody recently say, I would get into it with my father and we'd argue, and then we would get tired of arguing and we would just separate. And then after a day or two, things would go back to normal and we'd be nice to each other. And he said, but I never got any resolution. Any sense of, oh, that's the reason my dad feels that way. Or, oh, I think my dad or my mom now understands where I'm coming from. Right? Closure. Very important ability in relationships. And the last but not least, having an interest in the other person's needs. You know, when you fall in love, you love being with the person. You love laughing with the person. You love hugging the other person. But do you have an interest in helping them be happy? What are the specific feeling words for happiness? The 5 I focus on are a sense of peace. Are you interested in helping this other person feel at peace? Number 2, comfort. Are you interested in helping this other person feel comfortable? I'm going to the party, but I'm not comfortable. Or this dress or this coat doesn't feel right. Well, how can I help you feel more comfortable? Safety. I don't feel safe. I'm anxious. How can I make you feel more safe? What can I say? What can I do? And a sense of well-being. What can I do for you to help you have a sense of well-being? And of course, if I do lots of right things, I help the other person have moments of joy. I call that PCSW, with a little joy at the end. So that's my 8 things that we need to look out for in relationships. Does the other person have the ability to do these? If they do, man, we've found somebody special. But if we notice that they're not good at quite a number of these things, red flag. That's not good. Get into therapy as soon as you can and see if the therapist can't help this person develop some of these relationship skills. Okay? Good luck with that relationship. Thank you for tuning in. I am Dr. Cedric Wood.